Welcome to We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T. I'm Alicia J, and of course, I'm here with Ashley Nicole Moss, who
Hello, everyone.
is hello, Ashley. She is up way past her bedtime. Thank you for staying up.
Yeah,
She's on the East Coast.
yeah.
I'm on the West Coast, so it's a little bit earlier for me for sure. But I know you've had a crazy day. But listen, that was a crazy game, so we definitely have
To
to have a
top off a
reaction to
crazy
it.
day. Exactly. You see how
Yeah.
that works? Yeah. So here we are. Listen, before we get into all of that, as usual, we want to go ahead and just remind you to lock in with us on social media. These are all our different accounts, our individual accounts, our show account. Also, turn your notifications on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. My earring's falling off. You see how long of a day that's been? Look at that.
It's tired too.
Um
The earring is tired.
and also, if you are not someone who likes to, oh my gosh, it's still going. Listen, if you're not somebody who likes to watch your pods, that's okay too, because we are on audio. Scan this QR code and it will help you find us wherever you get your podcast. That's on Spotify, that's on Apple. So there's no reason you should not be tapped in with us right here on We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T. And Alicia, we need to talk about this game while I fix this earring. This is what we need to
We
talk about.
Listen, we absolutely do. And first of all, we're live, Ashley. This is the first time in a long time that we've gone live. So I just want to say hello to everybody watching live right now.
Hi.
Make sure you drop your comments in. We all need to talk about this. This is a game that, man, just like the series, an absolutely crazy game. The New York Liberty win and literally go up. Okay, Ashley.
Say it
All right.
again.
You're not too tired to celebrate. All right.
Watch
I
me
knew I
yawn now
knew he was about to cut up.
that you just put it out there. Watch me yawn in the next 10 seconds. Go ahead.
No, I knew you were about to cut up. I'm like, here goes Ashley. We already know, but it was 80
Nail
to
biter.
70. Yeah, definite nail biter, 80 to 77. Um, Sabrina hit a huge shot at the end that will go down
Huge.
in Liberty history as a huge shot, obviously, because yeah, Abby Jackson, you're right. WNBA game of the century for sure. It was a wild one, and also one that I'm like a little emotionally conflicted with because the Lynx really did play a good game. So it's
Yeah.
not like they just hung it up and they were at home. And, there were so many factors that went into it. But what are your initial thoughts to this just honestly like historic game, especially for these finals? Man.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway is, my dad has a saying and he kind of instilled this in me when it comes to watching basketball, which is why I never get too caught up in how a game starts. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Right. And there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows to NBA, WNBA game, any competitive sport, really, but specifically basketball. It's a game of possessions. There's trials, tribulations, ups and downs. And it's a testament of a really good basketball team to be able to withstand every ebb and flow of a game. When we were talking about this on the last podcast, we were doing NBA comps, and I said teams that remind me of just when we're talking about how the Lynx played game 2 and they were just so calm, cool, and collective, how much it reminded me of like the old school San Antonio Spurs, or a team really well, the Golden State Warriors. And what I saw from the Liberty tonight puts them in that category. They were playing from behind. Playing from behind can be debilitating, but they took it possession by possession and slowly chipped away at that lead to where they can put themselves in the position to not only tie the game, but then go ahead and lead the game. And they didn't take their foot off the gas once they got there. I mean, it was kind of remnant of that game 1 performance from the Lynx. Every shot that the Liberty needed to hit, they were hitting. Every rebound, they were getting. And even when Sabrina took that 3 that she didn't necessarily need, it was a good look. It was just unnecessary. They didn't get frazzled. Okay, possessions behind us. What are we going to do next? And I'm just so impressed with a Liberty team that has a reputation sometimes for not being able to close out games, not being able to hold on to leads. They did everything opposite of what that negative reputation about them can sometimes be, and looked like a team that's ready to hoist a trophy.
And I would say one of the keys to a Minnesota win for me going into this game was that they jumped out early and didn't let that huge lead that happened in the first two games happen. But honestly, looking back, it was almost a detriment to them in a way because, New York just knew that they were going to come back and win that game. They just chipped away and chipped away. And it almost made them calmer in a way, if
Yeah.
I say that just from watching it. And so, even though I like I'll stand by the fact that I think the Lynx played a good game, definitely, but that was almost, a key to them winning was almost to their detriment at the end of the day when it comes to the flow and the pace and everything that New York set for this game. I would also say too, Sabrina hit a huge shot for sure. I'm not taking away from it at all, but man, Stewie held this team down
Oh,
tonight.
she was absolutely possessed. She was on one. In New York, we like to say when you're just in your bag, she was bugged out. Like it was just absolutely phenomenal. Every aspect of the game she had her hand in. She was up and down that court like a mad woman. I mean, she was making shots, she was dishing shots. It was just absolutely insane. 30 points from her, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. First 30-point game from her in the finals since 2020. First Liberty player with 30 plus points in a WNBA finals game. Has both games of 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks in WNBA finals history. 20-point game is her 10th in a WNBA finals game. She matches Maya Moore for the most of all time. I mean, when I look at this stat line, it's just, when you think about Breanna Stewart and that game one where she misses those free throws, and how we could be talking about a drastically different series right now, the Liberty being up 3-0, and how much she took ownership of missing those free throws. And you saw how distraught she was. And we were talking about this after when we did the pod. She probably didn't sleep at all until game two. She's tossing and turning. It is like she said to herself, I'm not going to feel any ounce of what I felt in game one. I'm going to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's for the rest of the series. I mean, this is an insane stat line.
Well, and Stewie talked so much about how what happened last year affected her and how she was not going to rest. And after that first game, she was probably like, listen, I'm not doing this for another off season. I am not going to have to rebuild. I know exactly what I need to do. This team is a winning,
Yeah.
possibly championship team. And we're going to do this year. That is what she did tonight. She was like, I am not going to take a loss in this game. She just wouldn't let it happen. She wouldn't let it happen. But I will say, I think when Alana Smith went down with her injury, it definitely changed the pace of this game. Given that she may or may not return, we don't know what her status is on her injury. But what do you think about that? How did it impact the game tonight? And then how do you think it will impact the series moving forward?
I think whenever you have a player go down, right? I think that it changes kind of not only the mentality, but the chemistry and the flow of that particular team. I think that when you're talking about how it happened, where it happened, I'm pulling up trying to figure out exactly where it happened in the game. Was it late in the third quarter or early in the fourth? I think it was. Do we know? Emma, do you have that off the top of your head, where she went down? I'm thinking it was in the third, but I could be wrong.
I feel like it was in
Oh, it
the
was the
third
second
too.
quarter? It was earlier than that? Why am I thinking
Oh,
oh, wow.
it felt
Okay.
much later,
Yeah, it
but
felt much later in the game, which again is a testament to just how good the Lynx are, because for it to go down that early in the game, even before the half, and for them to still come out with that type of tenacity. Also, she went out, came back, and went out again.
yeah,
Okay,
she
yeah.
did.
I mean, either way you slice it, when you talk about finals appearances, even playoff appearance, every woman, every man counts. In some way, shape, or form, especially when you talk about the game changes, the game speeds up when you talk about the finals. And you never know when you need it to be someone else's night. Her defense is huge for the Lynx, and their defense is such a huge part of their game. And when you lose a defensive anchor, it forces you to then adjust in real time, and it forces you to adjust in a short turnaround. And this is a short turnaround. We're talking about they play again on Friday, and you're going against a team that's deep. You're going against a team that has two superstars in Sabrina and Stewie, who have just been on one this entire series in some way, shape, or form. They're going to have to figure out how to fill that void. Not that they can't do it. The Lynx are extremely talented. And again, they have the benefit of next game is still at home. So there's no travel, home crowd. You get to sleep in your own bed. There's a familiarity there. Role players play better at home. So there's things that work in their favor, but they have to figure out quickly how to fill that void.
They have to figure out quickly, but the good news for them is they are deep as the team. You know, they do have
Yeah, for
people
sure.
that can come in and contribute and know that defense through and through. And like you said, are ready to step up when it's time to step up. And it's definitely time to step up. Again, you know, I hope that she is, you know, better and that she's not out, but it didn't look too great. I'm not going to
Mhm.
lie. So there's going to be some adjustments that they have to make. But one thing about the Lynx coach, she ain't going to play with that. She has some adjustments for for the other team. She's going to come
Well,
in strong, and so are they.
let's talk about those adjustments, right? Game 4, like you said, Friday. It's either we're crowning a winner in Minnesota or we're taking it back to New York for a game 5, which, I love a good game 5, but only when my team is not involved in it. So I personally would like this series to end on Friday. I can understand from a sports fan perspective to extend the series. That would not be fun for me. But on Wednesday, Courtney Williams said that the team did not want to go back to New York. And I can understand why. Anything happens in a game 5, a game 7, however long the series is in the particular sport. Alicia, I mean, what do you want to see next game? Let's start with obviously the Lynx because they're the losing team tonight.
Yeah, I think the Lynx don't need to get out of what they've been doing all season. Down the stretch, and particularly, I just remember Courtney Williams doing it a bit. She took shots that she didn't necessarily need to.
Mm,
She made some fantastic, huge shots for the team, but there were just times where they were up, not by much, I'll say, but they should have been controlling the game rather than, it almost looked like they were down at times
mm.
when they
Like
weren't.
frantic play.
Yeah, and it not the entire time, but there were times where it happened where I was like, "You did not need to take that shot. You
Mhm.
guys could have got set up, got a good look, increased your lead." And so, to me, they kind of played outside of the offense that they've been playing all year. And obviously, we just talked about it, but it's going to be huge for them is any kind of adjustment they have to make without Smith. I mean, if they don't feel that because she has been so integral to what they have done all season long. Like she's huge on their defense. They live and die by their defense too, obviously. And so a huge
Yeah.
key for the Lynx is that they have to adjust if she is not able to play. And she's definitely, I would say, based on when she did come back in the game, she'll have some limited minutes. And so whoever is going to step in for her and step up, they got to be ready.
Yeah, listen, when Courtney Williams said the team did not want to go back to New York, I need them to go ahead and keep that same mentality. Sometimes what happens, and you see this a lot in sports where there's extended series. Obviously, football, I feel like, is the only out of the major sports here in the States, is the only sport that this doesn't apply to. But when you talk about basketball, when you talk about baseball, sometimes a team that's up and knows that they have another game if they happen to lose the game that is, in the present. So this would be game 4. They can take their foot off the gas a little bit and they can go ahead and not play with the same tenacity, not play with the same urgency, not play just with the same level of aggression that you would hope, a team that's on the verge of closing out a series would play. I don't know why it is. It's like a psychological thing. I've read like thesis on it throughout like my career and nobody can really seem to give like an exact reason why. But regardless of the fact is the Liberty need to go into this as if they're down in this series. Not that they're up, not that they're having these incredible closeout games. They need to go in like their back is against the wall and they are fighting for their lives. Because if this series goes to 5, this Minnesota Lynx team is really talented, offensively, defensively. You do not want to be in a situation on your home court in your city, having had the chance to close out this series in a game 5. Anything can happen when you talk about a closeout game, a series ending game, a championship game, whatever you want to refer to it as. Anything can happen. Handle your business, go in there with the same level of urgency, the same level of focus that you have been going into each and every game of the series in, and just handle your business. Do not play with your food at all.
Yeah, and you can see that in the series. It's been so close. Every game, like I ain't got a nerve left. Okay. So you can't play around with this series because
Right.
there isn't a clear winner. However, I will say we did have a comment from Abby, who is our third co-host of the night, because this is our second
Hey,
comment. So thank you
Abby.
so much, Abby. But she said, I believe New York will close it out on Friday. Can't see them recovering from Sabrina's game-winning shot. That's a blow. That stings. And yes, it absolutely does. You're at home. You've
Right.
really handled the game well in a lot of different ways up until that point. And then it just takes the wind out of your sails. Now, I would not count the Lynx out just in the fact that they are a scrappy team.
Mhm.
Just like you said, New York has to play like they are not up.
Mhm.
They're never going to play like they're up. Like, they're scrappy. They're so, I think they could get another game. I definitely think so. But it is going to be hard to go
For
back to New
sure.
York.
I mean,
It's definitely going to be hard.
also, if you're the Lynx, your fans are coming out, they're packing that arena. You don't want to disappoint them. I will say, outside of Sabrina's, buzzer beater 3-pointer, coming back and allowing a team to come back from 15 points, a 15-point deficit, can sometimes rattle even the best of teams and get into their mentality, get into their mindset. Because if you're in that Lynx locker room right now, you're looking around like, what the hell happened?
Mhm.
Like, we had a 15-point lead and we blew it. How the hell are we not walking away with a win on our home court right now? We allowed them to steal one, to split our home court advantage. Now, again, the Lynx did it to the Liberty.
Yeah, I was going to say
So,
game 1
and the
was
Liberty bounced
that.
back. So again, the testament to a good basketball team is how you take, much like when we talked about the Liberty bouncing back in game 2 after that overtime thriller where, Stewie missed her free throws and that whole saga and having that conversation. If the Lynx are as good as we all think and know that they are, game 4, they will come out with the same level of tenacity they have come out in every single one of these games, and they will not be rattled by what transpired tonight. It will be in the back burner. They're putting that away. If they don't, the Liberty are like sharks. They're going to smell blood in the water, and it's over before it starts.
I couldn't agree more. And I just cannot see, even though this game was hard for the Lynx, and I know that shot literally was so defeating, but they won't be defeated. I just can't see them coming out and just laying down. That's not the Lynx team we've seen all season.
Yeah.
So by no means am I saying that, the Lynx are going to get the series. It is going to be incredibly hard to take that back to New York with the environment, it playing at home against the Liberty is going to be incredibly hard, especially after what happened last year. But I just can't see them coming out in the next game and just completely laying down and losing it. I
Yeah.
personally just cannot. Now, going back to that shot with Sabrina, do you think that is the biggest shot in Liberty history, would you say?
I can't recall a shot bigger than that. And I've been watching them basically my entire life. Like, I'm trying to think if I can recall one bigger than that. And maybe there was, and maybe my memory bank is not like going that far deep into its bag, but I can say this. I don't know if there's been a bigger Liberty shot in a more important moment or a more important game than that shot right there. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely. And certainly if they win it all, because it would be the first time that the Liberty, in all of the years, their original franchise of the WNBA, in all of the years that they would win a championship. So
I just
Listen,
want
that shot.
people I want people who are not from New York to understand. Like, I just got goosebumps when you said that. I just want people who are not from New York to understand what we're on the verge of doing in New York. The Liberty are one game away from bringing a parade to the city, right? I'm a Knicks fan. It's been a long time since that happened, right? For basketball, just putting that out there, right? So you have that. The Yankees are up 2-0 in their series. They're 2 games away from going to the World Series. Like, we're on the verge of the ultimate New York just apocalypse in the best way possible. Like this. And if the Knicks pull something magic, the world's gonna, like, you, Alicia, you will not see me on this podcast again because I will be locked up in jail somewhere for losing my mind if this happens. A Yankees
Now,
World Series, a Liberty championship, and the Knicks make it to the finals. I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back here.
now, listen, I have bail money and I will bail you out. But I don't think we need to go that far.
Yeah,
I will
just
be there
saying.
for you, Ashley. But come on.
Live
No,
pod
but
from the parade.
right. No, that will be huge. And I am a big supporter of any kind of amazing history in the WNBA. I would love to see either of these teams win. I'm going to be clear. But especially with them having it be the first championship of the franchise when they've been there since the beginning. Come on now. I'll take that all day. And especially for Stewie after this game, because she better put that W right in her pocket because she did that. She did that. No offense to anybody else on that team, but she definitely, carried. I don't want to say carried because there were other contributors, but
No, she was
she had
she
a
was
huge,
the
she
X
was a huge
factor.
part of that win.
She was the X factor tonight. She was the common denominator, the X factor, whatever you want to refer to. Like, it is what it is. So I'm not mad at it. Yeah, I
I'm
love
not
it.
mad at it either. Well, and another thing about Stewie is today they announced the All-WNBA teams, and she was on, obviously that first team. It was Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Caitlin Clark, and Alyssa Thomas. The second team was Sabrina. So she showed us why she on that second team. She showed us
Is
a
that why
lot
she hit the shot today?
Kalia Copper, Neka, Awumake, sorry, Arike Agumbawale, and Jonquil Jones. So literally, I the W is so talented that when you see this, like every single one of these players deserves to be on these lists and on these teams. But I'm always thinking like, well, where's De'Arica Hamby? I think she definitely had a stellar year, averaged 17.3 points, 9.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, started all 40 games, third WNBA All-Star selection, sparked single season record for sports, or single season record. So, it's so hard though, because all of these players deserve it. So it's so hard. I'm just like, dang. But what did you think about, obviously Caitlin Clark, she made history in so many ways by being named to that first team. What are your thoughts on Caitlin making the first team All WNBA?
I'm not surprised by it. I think that, obviously when you have Caitlin's name in anything, there's going to be a plethora of different opinions. But if we're just looking at it from a basketball perspective, not only her individual stat lines and just all the records that she's broken, not only in the league, but Fever records as well. And also the Fever were a team that I don't think a lot of people were expecting to be in the playoffs. I think that they were a team that people were hoping were just better than they have been. But for her to be at such a at such the focal point of helping that team get to that position was monumental as well. And also, let's not forget, she had a very rough start, just like a lot of rookies do, to the earlier part of this season. There was a lot of chatter about whether or not she was built for the W and all the, the hoopla and all that stuff surrounding it. And she really found her stride, and it's to be expected that when you're a rookie, it's going to take you a little bit of time to get used to the new playing style, the new speed, getting acclimated. I could make a case for Sabrina to have that spot over Caitlin. But if you're asking, or if anyone were to ask me, am I mad or surprised that Caitlin got it? I'm not. I'm not mad at it. I am more annoyed and bothered though by the fact that Stewie got 2 second team votes. I gotta find out who the hell did that.
I mean,
Um,
stand on it. If you
you
gonna
gotta
do
put your
that,
name on things like
stand
that.
on it.
Yeah, I
Because
just
there is no way that she should have got those 2 votes for the second team. Absolutely no way. So stand up.
I
Say
feel
who
like if
you
you
are.
do that, you have to like put your name on things.
You
Like
have
the
to.
person who stopped Caitlyn from being unanimous rookie of the year, like put your name on the vote. Like put your name behind it.
Well, and
You know?
don't they name who votes for what in the NBA? Don't they do that?
No, not always. Like
Oh, okay. I thought my fault.
you can share like you can share your ballot or whatever, but it's not technically required for, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think they do it
I
though
just
in effort of transparency though.
okay. Well, let's be transparent
Yeah.
because if you're gonna put in votes like that, just say who you are.
Right.
Stand on your
And
vote. Say
and the
what you said.
reason. Give me
Yeah.
that and the reason. So, I just it's I don't know.
People just need to stand up for what they're putting down. You can't just put
Yeah.
it down and then run out the back door. You can't do that.
Um
Not when
your
you make
thoughts
stuff like
on
that.
your thoughts on all WNBA before we wrap the pod. Do you like the list? Would you make adjustments? Do you hate it? What are your feelings about it?
I don't hate the list. I
Are
think
you
it's just a
surprised
testament.
by it or
No, I'm actually not surprised by a lot of these, I would say,
Mhm,
but what I would say is that it is a testament to how good this league is.
for
Like,
sure.
it is a testament because so many people could, there could be little adjustments moving around, putting other people that weren't mentioned on either of these teams. But overall, like, we just have it's the top women's basketball players in the world, and it shows. And there's so many people that could be on these lists if you just argued and looked at the little statistics. Like, it's just this much of a difference between a lot of these players. So, but what I will say is, how much do you think that the players make? Because you do with the contracts that you have and everything, you do make money off getting these first teams, as you should, because you're
Mhm.
getting these accolades. And how much do you think the first and second team makes?
Um, I'm trying to I shouldn't. I'm trying to compare it to the men, so I'm not gonna do that because we all know that argument and that discussion. If I had to gauge it, I'm trying to think of okay. So second team, I would say I hate that this number is gonna sound so low because it shouldn't be this low, but I'm thinking like realistically. Second team 10K. First team, I feel like 15 is too. I'll probably say five. Yeah, I'm gonna go first team 15K, second team 10K.
Well, Ashley, with all of the amazing things that have happened in the league this year and how things are changing in pay for women's
Yeah.
sports, I hope that it does increase to what you said and more. However, for first team, it's 10,300, and second team, it's 5,150.
That's before taxes.
Listen,
So it's like $2,500, $3,500.
yeah. So listen, that's one of the things that needs to change, period. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Are you for
There have
real? Is that another one of Emma's jokes?
I'm so serious. No, she wasn't joking this time. I wrote it down. I looked it up earlier because I was very curious. And yeah, that's where we're at. But
Please be serious.
let's increase that. We have some changes to make. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that ain't it. But what is it is that we have a phenomenal game 4 in the works and it's going down Friday. So if it's anything like the game tonight rather, we are in for a treat. But that's going to do it for myself and Alicia for this post game 3.
Actually, we cannot leave without our predictions.
Oh,
I know.
that's right.
Yeah, we have to say who we think is going to win. I have my you're listen, I know what you're gonna say. I don't even know if you need to say it, but for me, I
I go. Okay, you go first. You go first.
while I don't know if the Lynx will win the series, I think they
Yeah.
are going to come out at home, play the basketball that they've been playing all year, um, and they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win this next game. That's my prediction. And I'll stand on it.
I actually agree with you. I think
What?
that I do. I think it's going back to New
I'm
York,
shocked.
not because I want it to, just because I have been watching basketball my entire life, and I just know sometimes, most of the time, it is very hard to close out games. It's hard to close out series, rather, I should say. Unless it's a completely lopsided um matchup, because sometimes you get those. Sometimes you get a team that really shouldn't be your opponent, and it's a little bit of like smooth sailing to go ahead and beat them. Like we've seen that story before. I think this Lynx team is super talented. I have so much respect for them. I have so much respect for the game that they play. Watching how close that these games have been, it would be crazy for me to think that the Liberty are going to go ahead and just take this easily from the Lynx on their home court. I would not be surprised if the Lynx went ahead and were able to split home court advantage with the Liberty and go back for an absolute nail biter in Brooklyn. I don't want it to be the case, but my gut tells me the Lynx got one more win in them, and I think it happens game 4. So I hope I'm wrong though.
Well,
I
regardless,
really do.
okay,
Ooh,
so
okay, Abby.
Abby's back. She said New York wins it all on Friday. All right,
I hope
Abby.
you're right, girl. That's what I want. So
All right, Abby, we gonna see. We gonna
we
see.
gonna
But
see.
I know what I'm looking forward to is another great, amazing game. If they're anything like the other games in this series, I'm here for it. It's
And
only moving the game forward.
if we get a game 5, we get an Ellie fit.
Well, you already know I'm here for that.
So
Here for it.
she'll probably come out like a gold
1000%.
suit or something. We'll get a whole like performance for her. Can you imagine if the Liberty win in Brooklyn, how Ellie's gonna act a fool? Just saying.
See, Ashley knows how to get me to say I want New York to win
Just
because
saying.
I would love
Ellie's
to
gonna
see
act a
Ellie
fool.
celebrate. She
Saying,
is
can you
going to go.
imagine?
She will go dumb, like for real. Well, that's the Bay Area term. She gonna go dumb though.
Yes.
Like I know she's
No.
in New York, but she
Yes.
literally. I can't. That is something I definitely want to see. So
She gonna be in that confetti doing a routine. She gonna be on the stage. Like I'm just saying. We can't get that performance from Ellie game 4. We can't get the Ellie content game 4.
we can't
We
see what
can get it
Ashley's
though.
doing, y'all.
I'm
See,
just
see,
saying.
and I'm
Think of
following her
Ellie.
'cause I
Think of
love
your
me some Ellie.
girl. Think of your girl. Just saying. Just putting that out there.
Also,
That's all.
where's your Liberty? You said you were gonna get some Liberty.
Tell Amazon to stop playing with me. It got delayed till tomorrow, but I'll have it for Friday.
They don't want you to be great.
I know.
Rob said Ellie's championship celebration fit will be legendary. You already know. She already has it picked out.
You saw her sequence suit that she had. What was it? Game 2? I
Yes,
think, which is like all black and it was like sequence. And she
custom.
had like her little tote bag.
Yes. She ain't playing.
She ain't playing games, man. Ellie outside with it. I'm just saying.
She is outside. Well, we'll see if we're gonna see her outside in the championship. We'll see how it plays out. But I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm just gonna say.
I feel like Ellie could travel for game 4 though. Does she travel?
I don't even know. That is something that is interesting. I know when we had back in the day with the Warriors, we had a mascot called Thunder. And when he would have his birthday, we would have other mascots come out. But I don't know if they can just travel like that and go into other arenas like that on a regular game night.
I
I
wonder.
don't, I
Because
don't think
if this is like in the elimination game, right? It's a possible elimination game. You would think you would allow like have your mascot there.
she could
Just
just go sit in the stands, get her a ticket.
I'm just saying. Just thinking. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Just free
Ellie,
game.
let us know. Let us know. You gonna be in the house?
Oh, we love it.
We
Listen,
do.
but we are gonna have to wait to see if Ellie travels with the team, if the Liberty bring it back home, if we get one more Ellie fit for the WNBA season, because Friday, game 4, an absolute cinematic performance is on the horizon. You
Sure
do
is.
not want to miss it. We will obviously be breaking it all down after it happens. So make sure you are keeping it locked with us. Here are all of our socials right here, our individual socials. Well, that's our individual socials. This is our show socials and show socials. And
Listen,
make
hard to
sure
say.
you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, notifications turned all the way on, because you're not going to want to miss the content we have post game, game 4, and this little fun recap in case you happen to miss that absolute mind blowing shot from Sabrina to go ahead and put the Liberty up 2-1. And after the show, the QR code on the screen will help you listen to us wherever you get your pods. That's Spotify, that's Apple. Until then, we're out of here. Go Liberty. Go.
Go Ellie. We'll see you on the next show.
Oh, wow. Okay. Whatever.